Good day, viewers. Welcome to another interesting and exciting episode of Let's Talk with Joke. So today we have episode 2 of the effect of domestic violence in our homes. And to help us with that topic, I have our very own...
My name is Abi Baudosu from Bayelsa State, a civil servant, and also a director, also an artist, an actor, a freelance man. I can be what you want me to be.
Okay, so you can be whatever we want you to be. That's interesting. I like that because I'm going to use you today. I'm going to drain some experience out of you today so that our audience can also learn from this very topic. So, sir, we are discussing this controversial topic, domestic violence in our homes. And then the question to you, the first question to you is, what is domestic violence to you?
Well, domestic violence varies. It doesn't necessarily mean an act of being abusive sexually, an act of being abusive physically. It entails a lot.
Okay.
It can mean being abusive financially. It can mean being abusive emotionally and physically. I do not like placing a definite definition on domestic violence.
Okay.
Because by the time you are defining it, you'll be made to start breaking things down. The best thing is domestic violence is an abuse in various ways. It depends on the way you take it. That's my own definition.
Of it?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Who is an abuser?
Well, an abuser is somebody who does not have respect emotionally, physically, spiritually, who intimidates, who try to have total control over you against your own will. Let me break it down.
Okay, sir.
Now, we're talking about family.
Yeah.
We are talking about marriage. Christ said, love your wife the way the church, the way Christ loved the church.
Yes.
Now, it's a big word, 4-letter word, love. Now, if you do not know how to pamper, treat a woman or a child, and you are harsh, being harsh varies, and you are very harsh on the child. You don't think of the child's own, how will I put it? Okay, I want you to do this. How does the child feel? You don't look
considerate of the child.
Yes, you are not considerate about the child's feelings.
Okay.
It has an effect. It's an indirect abuse.
Okay.
The woman you are married to, you're not considerate on how she feels about issue in your marriage. You don't need to be violent. You don't need to punch. You're abusing her. She doesn't have a say.
That's emotional abuse.
Emotional abuse. She doesn't have a say. What I say is final. Where did you go to? Why did you stay late? No, all those things are uncalled for. Trust. Where the abuse is high is when a man does not have trust. When the man does not have self-control. Abuse, a man that abuses, if you identify a man that abuses, watch his level of jealousy.
Sir, everyone has a story to tell. Permit me to ask, what's your story?
You want to drag me out of my share. It's a story I don't like talking about, but do I talk about it? Yes.
As far as going to help 1 or 2 persons out.
It will help 1 or 2 persons.
Okay, so please share it with us.
I'll talk about it. Well, I could remember I got married 2000. I'm not good at dates. And 10 years, there was no issue.
No issue? You didn't?
Yes. No child.
Okay.
In between, I noticed my spirit was no longer in the marriage. I now said, no, I can't quit this marriage. I need to keep going on. And now the issue there happens to be, I was smoking and drinking before.
Okay.
I had that as an issue. And I was saying, could it be the reason why we don't have a child? Now, we got to a certain stage where we need to go on herbal. It wasn't working. Permit me to say this, sorry, wherever my ex is, and my present wife, sorry, I have to say this. I had to bury something. All because we needed a child. Against my religion. I'm from a very strong Christian family. And I was a worker in Redeem. While I buried that thing, it did not work.
We'll go on a short break and be right back. Welcome back from that short break. Okay, sir.
Yes, I had to bury something given to me by an herbalist. I'm not an herbal person. I don't believe in those logic. But at that point, I started knowing the woman I was married to. I never knew she believes in fetish things.
This is after 10 years.
Within the 10 years.
Okay.
Let's say about 8 to 9 years into the marriage, I said, okay, one day she called me from Bayelsa that she took in this and that. I was sending money every month. And she keeps telling me the baby is not growing. I said, go to the hospital. Why is the baby not growing? I started going through internet, trying to find out reason why baby was not growing. I needed a child. I needed a child. I can't deny myself of that happiness. I need somebody to call me a father. At the end of the day, I came back to Lagos. When I met my sister said, let me use Yoruba, Kolonyu. She's not pregnant. I said, sis. He said, listen to me. She is not pregnant. We went to see the doctor in Badagry. I found out the environment was so shambled. It does not look like an hospital. I said, what's going on? The man who is called a doctor doesn't look like a doctor. I don't even know what was going on. So it was when my sister told me she's not pregnant, because I asked her, go and see my sister. So this girl is not pregnant. I had a younger sister who read medical lab. The husband is a doctor. Redeem had a program, so they came to Redeem. And a scan was already done. I was lying in a room when my sister came, said, where is the scan result? I said, meet her. The husband asked me a question. Are you still keen in this marriage? You look so relaxed. I said, I'm relaxed because I think it's high time I take a decision. But I don't know this. I don't want to take decision that will hurt some. But I'm being hurt. I cover myself under the shadow of religion, Christianity. I don't want God to be angry with me. I don't know what the church will say. People will say that a worker in the church, somebody will look up to, will do this. I said, okay, I'll take a decision. Then my sister came and said, this is the result. She cannot give birth to a child. I said, what's that supposed to mean? Is that supposed to be a joke? The husband looked at it. That was the first time I heard of ovarian yeast. So what's that? In a nutshell, we had to take a decision. Now, the decision that I was told to take, pressure was there. Go outside and give birth. I said, I don't want to have a child out of wedlock. I don't want to. It's had a side effect on the child. I want my child to grow with me. I want them to grow under me, under my tutelage. Let me monitor them. You are growing old. I know. They said the patient dog eat the fattest bone. At a point, I started asking myself, I'm not even seeing the bone. Talk less of the flesh. So one day, I think I came back to Lagos to even see her. The pressure was high. I had a request from a lady who said all she needed was a child. Get me pregnant. I'll pay 500,000 to your account every month. I'll take good care of you. You have access to your child. No problem. I'm not asking you for marriage. But I so much love my marriage. I so much cherished my marriage. I said, I won't do that. All happened in Ajah here. I said, I won't do that. I cannot hurt her. Why will I hurt her? She has done nothing wrong to me. And I still stand here, I say it anywhere I go. No woman will come out and say, I dated, or I married Ebi, and Ebi maltreated me. I don't do that. If you ask for 60%, I try my best to give you 90%. I can dissatisfy myself to make you happy. It's a key thing I know. One day I was taken to Oshodi. I'm telling you the quest where looking for a child got me into, because it has become a mental problem to me. When to Oshodi, it was when an herbalist at Oshodi, Bolade, broke the shell. Asked me, who is this? I said, that's my wife. He said, no, sorry, she's not your wife. I said, I don't understand. He said, who I see beside you is a fair lady with children, but you are turning your back on the fair lady. He now asked me, you remember what you were told 8 years when you were 12 years ago? 12 years old. I said, I can't remember. He said, think. You are not for us. You are a child of God. You are born to serve God. Whatever you like, you do. That is what God you are serving is telling me. The man said, you should not do a wrong marriage. Get into a wrong marriage. Do you remember? I said, then I was small. I waited, I won't take marriage you. I was 12, 13 years old. So what has marriage got to do with me then? Said, madam, this is not your husband. Oga, this is not your wife. I left there furious. What kind of rubbish? What arrant rubbish? You see, sometimes we face problems, but we don't stand by the truth. We always use sentiment to throw away the truth. We always use love to throw away the truth. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're hurting yourself. There's truth somewhere in the midst of your problem. Face the truth. Look for it, face it, and conquer it. Now, one fateful day, let me cut the story short. One fateful day, I was going back to Bayelsa. Our bus spoiled at Redeem Camp, the gate. I was looking at the camp. I'm a Redeemer, I've never entered this camp. I don't come from Congress because of the distance and transport. I just stepped into the camp. I wanted to buy something to drink. One mind was saying, pull your shoe. I said, I'll be Moses. I can't pull my shoe now. Pull your shoe. Then I now pulled my shoe. The comment that came out of my mouth was, any woman that gives me a child,
you will marry,
will be my wife. I was having an agreement with God. I got home. Madam, you have to leave your work. I can't be coming from Bayelsa to Lagos. And you can't be in Lagos, I'm in Bayelsa. How do we get the children? I cannot leave my work. That is one psychological and emotional violence in a marriage. The woman is 100 miles away. You are 200 miles away. The man is alone. The woman is alone. Emotional trauma. Sometimes you have the urge, you want to be with your wife. She's not there. And when I visit you, you go to work, you don't come till about 11, 12 in the night. By the time you return, you're tired. You bathe. I do the cooking. I do the cooking, I do the cleaning of the house, I go to market, all because I want to make a woman happy. Then at the end of the day, when my family asks a question, what's going on? The woman openly told my family, your brother is impotent.
Oh.
He cannot pregnant a woman. When they asked me, my late father, of blessed memory, called me and said, we don't have impotence in our family. What's your problem? I looked at him and I smiled. He said, why are you smiling? Open up, talk to me. I said, it's not an issue to discuss publicly. He said, one day it will be an issue to discuss publicly. I left and I went. I asked the woman, you are abusing me. You are insulting me. Why would you go and say, you fit? And I said, what about the sperms I've deposited in your body? What was the result? You see the beginning of abuse. I'm now telling her indirectly you're infertile, which she will not take.
Yeah.
Indirectly, I've told her you're infertile. The family is becoming shaky. It's becoming shaky. Until I was introduced to a doctor, I will forever respect him. He's at Ikeja. God, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. He told me, I'll give you a tablet you take. This is for the sake of those who think they can have a child. You can. There are things you can do. I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm talking out of experience. Childlessness is another problem that causes big abuse in marriage. He now gave me a drug, Proviron. He said, take it. Say your sperm count is low. It's low. But take this Proviron. I took it. And I slept with her. She got pregnant. But the womb cannot take it. Her womb cannot carry it. And the doctor told me, she cannot. You have to look for someone. How do you feel as a woman, the man you are married to is having an affair outside, and you are not aware? And suddenly you see a child. That's a very bad trauma. I said, I won't put her through that stress. This stress is enough. Until one blessed day, I took the bull by the horn. I said, Madam, I want to have a child outside.
You told your wife that?
Yes. I want to have a child outside. She said, what happened to our marriage? I said, there's nothing wrong with the marriage. The marriage stays. I'm not married. I'm not remarried. When the child grows, when the child is weaned, the child will come in. You take the child as your own. That child can bring a child for you. She said, no problem. I said, okay. She told me no problem at exactly 9 o'clock. I can never forget that time in the night. 1:30, she woke me up in the middle of the night. She said no. She will not accept. I said, you don't talk to your mama, Abi. Your mama said no. Do you know that your mother abused me by slapping me in my marriage?
Your mother-in-law slapped you?
Yes. Attacked me. That's one abuse in marriage, violence in marriage. Slapped me, attacked me. I was on phone with my father. Now, you are saying no. That's when I told her, I'm not seeking for your permission. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I don't need you to grant me permission. And I went ahead. I met this lady, fair lady, the same date, time, the herbalist said. I'm a proud father of 5 kids, 4 girls and 1 boy.
Wow.
Now, if I had continued with the marriage, the psychological effects will be so strong in the marriage. I have lost taste of sex. She doesn't entice me anymore. I don't have the feeling of love anymore. Why? Because when you look at it strictly, emotionally, there's an abuse. And that abuse gave me the feeling that I can never have a child again in my life. Somewhere along the line, a door opened and I had one. Even while I was a worker, because of that mental and psychological abuse, I was a worker in the church, I smoked and I drink. Why? I seek succor in alcohol. Because I'm in pains from a woman I believe I loved. When I had a child, she did something that made me pull my ring. And I said, I'm no longer interested. I abandoned the house. I came one day to pick my things. She locked the door. She put the key, sorry to use the word, inside her private part. Said, I'm not going out. I said, let me step out of the door. So you're not stepping out. My sister called me. I was discussing with my sister because I was supposed to see her. All this happened in Bielsa. I was supposed to see her. The next thing she did, she slapped me, smashed the phone on the floor. I said, why did you slap me? Why must you smash my phone on the floor? Have I ever slapped you before? Why are you being violent on me? Before I could say anything, her hand is already on my scrotum. She was pressing the ball. She said, I'll kill you. I couldn't endure the pains. I had to punch her. Against my will. I had to punch her. Picked her up, stoned her on the sofa. The long sofa. And I held her by the throat. Used my knee on her boobs. Pressed the boobs with my knee. I was pressing her on that. I could see she was going.
Oh my God.
I could see she was going. But the spirit in me does not even care if she's going or she's not going. Because I was in tears doing it. I was in pain doing it. Suddenly, I don't know if my sister heard the voice. Because at the end of the day, the phone only cracked.
But she was still on the line.
She was still on the line. The next thing I heard, the vigilante in my area started hitting on the door. Okay, be held her, please, please, please. Open the door, open the door, open the door. I refuse leaving her. My sister notices, break the door. He will kill her. This is a man that don't touch a woman, but if he does, he's a different character entirely. They have to pass through the door. All this while, when the devil want to torture you, the devil want to torture you. I never knew my back door was open.
Oh.
I would have followed the back door. I ran away.
And just ignored her.
And just ignore her.
Tantrums and just...
So I just noticed somebody pulled my hands off her neck. The mark was on her throat. She was gasping for breath. Then I said, oh yeah, leave. I left. Health-wise, my BP then was 230. I never knew. I was a walking corpse. The violence triggered it. The violence broke my marriage then. The violence made me say goodbye to love. The trauma and the pains made me say goodbye to love. And I found succor in the woman that was pregnant for me then, which she is my wife now. Because at the end of the day, the word came back, he will find it a wife, find it a good thing, and obtain favor from the Lord. I saw the favor. I had the first one. Story went around that I could not pregnant a woman. That the pregnancy was a scam. Somebody came up to claim the pregnancy. I had to pick up a cutlass. My friend said, guy, when did you start? When did you start becoming violent? You want to kill this man? I said, hey, I have nothing to lose. I have no child. Since the child is not mine, I have no child. So if I machete him, I kill him, If they lock me up, life sentence, what do I have to gain? Say, guy, relax. Take it easy. We hear violence from men to woman. But this one now is a woman to a man.
And then back
to the woman again.
Because, yes.
Yes, I say no. The man had to confess that he was paid to come and claim the child.
He was paid
to come and claim the child. At the end of the day, the child was born. Took after my elder sister. When all my children were born, some took after the mother's side. Some took after my child.
So you have 5 kids now?
I have 5 kids.
From someone that spent 10 years in marriage or more than and was considered impotent?
Yeah.
Wow, such a touching story. So the question is, if the physical abuse from your ex-wife wasn't in the picture, would you have still been with her? And then if she had allowed you to take a second wife, you said she agreed at 9 p.m. for you to go ahead and impregnate another woman, and then all of a sudden, few hours after that, she said no. So, peradventure, she said yes, you still maintain that yes. Would you have still been with her and then just have another wife? Or no matter whether she said yes or no, that's considering if the violence wasn't there, because the moment she raised her hands on you, to me, it's a no-no. Do you understand? Because it doesn't get any better. It only gets worse.
Yes.
So once you've tasted that slap, either from a woman or from a man, forget it. It goes on and on. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, so would you have changed your mind at any point if she didn't actually raise her hands on you, bearing in mind that she couldn't, the doctor said at that time that she couldn't give birth, and then you really wanted a child badly? You would have still considered having her in your marriage or being in the marriage with her, but you have a second wife, which you will bring, because you already made a covenant with your God that you will never have a child out of wedlock.
Yes.
So you marry her and then still continue with your first wife. So that means you have 2 wives.
It would have been like that.
Okay.
What I mean, it would have been like that. I cannot abandon
Her.
her.
But you mentioned you grew out of love. Like at some point, you were not feeling anything towards her.
Yes, I cannot abandon her. In the sense that I'll still make her feel comfortable.
Okay.
Do you understand? But the truth is the love was no more there.
Yeah. She probably felt that way. Maybe that was what made her slap you in the first place. She probably felt like, you love Okunrin, I don't love him. And you're probably not satisfying her. There were other things that you were doing or you did unconsciously that you probably didn't notice. And then it just triggered that anger.
Sexual abuse.
You sexually abused her.
I did not sexually abuse her.
She sexually abused you.
She deprived me of sex for some time. So I got used to living without sex. When she comes late,
okay,
you don't have sex. Sometimes 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
She deprives you of
yes.
that.
She started.
So everything just kept piling up.
Just piling up. Everything keeps piling up. The mother coming in.
You said your mother-in-law slapped you.
Yes.
Wow.
Coming in and wife not being supportive. It's a very bad effect in a marriage. People won't look at it as violence, but it's a violence. It's not physical. One will say, let's do this. You say you don't have money, but you have money to spend for your family.
Are you looking at her money?
That is where
if she feels that her money is for her family.
No, that is where we get it wrong. That is where we get it wrong. I am not after her money. I have never asked any woman, give me money. I've never asked anyone, bring money, let's cook. Do you understand? I make sure I bring something. But when I'm at a crossroad, I need somebody to fall back on, isn't it? Do I go outside? Do I look for a sugar mommy? Do you understand? It's still your wife.
But how
Lack of
come-
communication.
Okay, so the thing is, yes, talking about communication, how come you guys never thought of, probably going through IVF?
We did.
Having a
We did.
surrogate and
We
all
did.
of that.
We did. It's because of the time factor. I don't want to mention that. We did. And someone was bent on footing the bill.
Oh, okay.
Someone was bent on footing the bill. She felt being intimidated. That's why I told you about intimidation in marriage. It's like an abuse.
She wasn't okay with the whole idea.
She wasn't okay with the whole idea. She felt the person is related to me, has money. I said, that's not the issue. While you had the land at Lekki, I was never aware 10 years marriage. I was never aware that my wife bought the land at Lekki. Are you smiling? You see the communication we are talking about? We're talking about abuse. It mustn't be violent. And I'm very happy that we never had a child.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because the urge of love, the love that have died in me, would have made me to react to everything she does. And it will affect the child. You have boys outside who take drugs. Isn't it? Who misbehaves. If you trace their lifestyle, they are child of a broken marriage, a broken home, domestic violence. You see somebody who wake up in the morning and say, "Are you waiting? I won't take man to come and get away." Marital violence, broken home. And I never wanted to set that as a pace. My father did not divorce my wife, my mother. My mother did not divorce my father. I never saw them fight. It's only death that separated them.
Wow.
So I vowed that my marriage will not be marred by any violence. I will never, never, never beat a woman. I can go to any length to satisfy you. Financially, you need to give your wife whatever she wants. Satisfy her financially. It doesn't have to be millions. Make sure you provide for the home. Because if you don't provide for the home, it's another psychological.
That's financial abuse.
If you don't provide for the home, that's another abuse. Now, the sexual aspect of it affected me a long way. Because that mentality, you took it to the next marriage. And you're trying to build it gradually. I had to make sure it does not affect
Your present marriage.
my present marriage. Because the mistake we do is, everybody has one or two stories to say.
Yeah.
Leave your story behind
And just move ahead.
and move ahead. If you allow your story to follow you, don't behave like the tortoise who carries his problem wherever he goes. Drop your problem. Forge ahead. Domestic violence is not you, and you are not domestic violent. The one you met might be violent, but the next one you are going to meet, I tell you, except God does not exist, but I know He does, will put a smile on your face. I'm a happy, smiling man. A married man, my money goes somewhere, which I'm very happy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abel. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sharing your stories with us. We're quite educative, and you've had such an experience coming from a man. You know, most people think that domestic violence is all about the women. They feel like it's we women that suffer it the most. We have men also that are also going through this also. So whatever your story is, whatever their stories are, learn to leave your past behind and forge ahead and get out of that abusive relationship. Yes. And it's a wrap on today's episode. Till I come your way next time, take care of yourselves and take care of others. It's bye for now.